What's up, guys? Peepo here, and this is my new room at the new apartment. This is probably not going to be the official angle of which I talk to you guys. I don't have my chair yet, and I haven't finished completely cleaning up the room to where I like it. But so I promised that I was going to do a video, and here it is, and let's get to it. So today I am reviewing the new NAS 2 from Warrior. Now, a lot of people should know what the NAS is. The NAS is one of the most sought after heads currently out on the market. The other most sought after would have to be the Blade, until they came out with the Blade OG to revamp it at $150 as a limited edition. Now, the NAS is very well sought after simply because of face-offs. It has a nice flex, it has good flex points to go along with that nice flexible feel. It has a good shape, it has very well structured sidewalls, so that when you're facing off, those pinches can get real nice and hard around the ball. It's not going to get super flimsy on you or anything like that. And then it has a good scoop to where you can get it stuck right there and pop it out if you don't get the initial clamp and you got to work for it. But so the NAS is not just used by face-off guys. It's built for your midfielder and your aggressive attackman. There is no high school version. It only comes in an X spec or universal spec. And the NAS 2 is a revamp or upgrade to the original NAS, because the original NAS had, I want to say, 10 holes only. I haven't had one in a while, so I don't exactly remember the number, but 10, maybe 11 holes for an original NAS, and that was lacking. A lot of people didn't like that because it strung up like old school heads, and it was very hard to get a very specific style of pocket in it. Usually it had to be a straight up high pocket, or it had to be a straight up low pocket. You couldn't really get a solid mid, and because of that, people didn't really like it, and so it only became really a face-off guys or an aggressive attackman that liked to shoot because of the whole high pocket idea. But the NAS 2 is an upgrade because there is 17 sidewall holes going from top to bottom. They took the sidewall hole size, pretty much the size of the sidewall holes of the top 4 of the original, and just put them all the way down to the bottom. So decent sized oval shaped holes, 17 of them, and you can string up all sorts of stuff in this now. Although, kind of to note, you really have to know exactly what you're doing, otherwise you're not going to get the exact pockets you want. And the thing is that the width of the plastic, if you compare to a brand new regular NAS, which I got the opportunity to do that recently, is that there's probably a couple millimeters difference in the width of the throat. So the NAS 2 is a few millimeters wider in order to stay legal longer, whether you're facing off, whether you're just using it, because what the NAS, the injected NAS, likes to do is it kind of implodes or collapses in the sidewall right around here, and that's really the main breaking point on most NASs, is right in this region. And because of all these extra sidewall holes, where there's usually only about 3, maybe 4 down in this region, because there's so many more, it's more likely to break. So got to be careful with that. And honestly, I wouldn't really recommend the new NAS 2 for face-off guys. If you're already having problems with a regular NAS lasting a decent amount of time, you're going to have a lot more trouble with a NAS 2 because of the sidewalls. Otherwise, it's the same exact head, except for the millimeters of extra width and sidewall holes. Otherwise, it's the same exact NAS. Strings up you can string it up exactly the same if you really want to, because the top holes are the same exact way, the very top sidewall holes in the same exact spot, and the bottom holes are in the same exact spot. The only difference is that millimeter sidewalls, and that they have a 2 in the X here, so it's a NOS 2. But so it strings up really well. I decided to put a 10 diamond top string in this one simply because I've been using 10 diamond top strings for a long time, and because of the width of the top, it works well. And my Epic Hawk has a 10 diamond, so I wanted to make sure that they both had the same feel and everything, and I managed to pull that off. Just so you guys all know, I did do a pattern for this on my Snapchat, which will be getting uploaded to YouTube either later tonight or early tomorrow morning, so which is Sunday the 28th or 29th, one of the two. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, I mean, same great balance, same great hold. You're not going to get a super channeled pocket in this head just because of how wide it is, the flare and everything like that. The only way you're going to get a really channeled pocket is if it's pretty much a mid-low. You can probably achieve a really channeled high pocket, but you're going to have to wrench down on the mesh in such a way that it's probably going to warp the head, and nobody really wants to do that, especially on a NOS. You don't want it to warp, because once it starts warping, there's really no going back because of the chambers in the side. So great head when it was original, and I think it's even better now that it has multiple holes. I'm a little more excited for the fact that they're probably going to bring out a no NOS 2, which is just a solid version of this. But from what I saw, they changed up the sidewall struts a little bit. So one of these disappeared, and the one that stayed kind of got centered there. So a little bit on the structure there, and it's not hollow, so it's a no NOS, so there's no NOS in it. So it's not hollow, it's solid, and it has slightly different positioned holes, which I'm kind of looking forward to. I prefer the no NOS over the regular NOS just because I don't have to worry about it warping so bad and then going terribly, terribly wrong. But no, the head strings up great with a 9 diamond, a 10 diamond. I haven't done a trad yet. I'm looking forward to doing a trad soon with it, and I'm sure it will take it great because the original took it very well. So be on the lookout for the tutorial that I did for this. It's not really a video, it's just a running video of all the pictures that I took for Snapchat, so that you guys can get a nice clear definitioned tutorial on how to do this. I don't really like saying knots because people get confused. I mean, I confuse myself sometimes when I start trying to talk about knots and so on. So be on the lookout for that, and I hope you guys got a little bit of insight out of this. The NOS has been used for almost every position except for goalie, obviously, but it's a very versatile head, and it's definitely one of the best that I've ever used. I want to say it's in my top 5 of modern day heads. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got a little bit of info out of this, and I'll catch you later, and deuces.